Now, some prospective first-time voters are warning the monetization of politics and the use of intemperate language during this campaign season may jeopardize Ghana's democracy. They believe politics of insults rather than a battle of ideas only goes to inflame passion and create tension, which could plunge the country into chaos. The young voters want more education and constructive debates to enable them make an informed decision on December 7th. Here are excerpts of the engagement with Lois Shola Adeyemi on Just Turned 18.
Come to give us rice and money to vote for them. I'm thinking, or I'm just asking, this is probably the same way they will give us arms to fight against their opponents, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Yes. I'm giving you something to vote for me. It means that you trust me so much. So if I tell you that if I come, I'll do this for you, so take this and vote for me, and you do that. If I give you money that do this so that we will eliminate the opponents, you end up doing it because the thing is, I've bought your votes already. I've bought your mind. So you go ahead to do whatever I tell you to do.
We live in a country where there's unemployment, high cost of living. So I'll go to any extent to get money to fend for myself and then my relatives. So if a politician comes to me, tells me, oh, Charlotte, I'll pay you to do this for me and I'll give you this amount of money, I need the money, so I'll do it.
We should actually listen to the policies and the manifestos well before we make our decisions. So we shouldn't really look at what we are going to gain from them, but we should actually listen to the policies and the manifestos.
Obviously, a lot of division in our political parties. And as a youth, if I am a supporter of NDC and then the leader of the party is using hate speeches against NPP, I will obviously follow him, because we are like kids and we are trying to learn from what we see. So if they don't take the responsibility to use respect in their speeches or to respect each other, we are likely to learn from them and reciprocate the same thing.
So violence doesn't only come from the political parties, but internal factors.
As youth as we are, we see our parents as our role models, and so whatever they will tell us to do is what we will say. So if I hear my mom tell me NDC has done A, B, C, D, and for that reason you should not vote for them or you should engage in violent acts against them, I'll probably do it because I feel like my parents are always right. So whatever they say is what I will do.
Before speaking at length, I want to find out, how can the country or the nation help us as youth, direct these energies positively, especially when it comes to our democracy? Justice.
Okay, I would not engage in any electoral violence or any act that will lead to violence during these elections. And I also entreat my colleagues and fellows not to indulge in such acts.
We need more education. We need to be educated on the power that we hold and how we should use the power that we are holding. It is important for our political leaders to show the example for us to follow, because as I said previously, we follow what we see, we learn from what we see. So we want to be more educated. We want them to promote what behavior they want us to exuberate. So we don't expect them to use hate speeches. We don't expect them to insult each other. We don't expect them to dehumanize the opponent party. We don't expect them to say things that we, even as youth, we don't think is right. We want them to promote respect, to promote love, to promote support. You can support your neighbor even if you don't want to vote for him. You can respect the person as well. So this is what we want the political leaders to do in Ghana.
Well, it's been barely a week since a 20-year-old attempted to assassinate former U.S. President Donald Trump at a campaign rally. As U.S. security services work to understand the motive, the pressing question remains: what drives a prospective first-time voter to engage in political violence? Host of Just Turned 18, Shola Adeyemi, engages some students from Dalhousie University, Canada, to discuss how the youth can eschew political violence. They also share some views on how to redirect the energies of the youth into strengthening Ghana's democracy. Now, this engagement was in partnership with Youth Bridge Foundation.
violence? And also as youth, why should we, or give us keys or reasons why we shouldn't even engage in political violence in the first place? So we'll talk about how the government can help us, and also how, us as youth, what we can do to take away political violence and turn those energies rather into positives. I'm coming to you, Eve.
Okay, so the first thing I would say would just be, in general, finding a good way to connect with youth and being able to educate them on politics in general, because typically when you see flyers or emails or things on sort of the older forms of social media that youth are on, like Facebook and such, that we don't really get the opportunity to see what the political education is like. But if they sort of were able to target us in a different way through social media, through universities, through different outlets, that would be a way to educate us on things and keep us away from the political violence, because what we know will give us the opportunity to educate ourselves and understand things, which will probably stray us a little bit further away from the corruption of certain things that are portrayed in the media in different ways that it would be impacted.
All right, now I'm coming to you, Nathan. Give me your views as well.
Yeah, so I think, I guess to get rid of the issues like that, the best way would be to create youth councils. We're from Dalhousie University, and we have a lot of those, and student representatives, such as on our Senate, and I think it's a great way to get the youth involved, get students involved, and so we can present our opinions, because we often go unheard. Because we're young, a lot of people don't think we have the ability to present the proper ideas, but I think we actually do, and our opinions are valuable, so that would be my biggest advice.
Now, Gabriel, Nathan and Eve have already said how we as peers can help ourselves. Now, in the country you come from, how do you think the government can help push this agenda of trying to get us as youth to not engage in political violence?
I mean, I think the root of political violence probably comes from being alone, right? And misinformation. The more the government pushes us to like feel a sense of community, build communities, build the people around you, make sure you have a strong foundation, right? I don't think political violence would happen.
Let me end with you, Prashantia.
I think there's like a call for an organization that would be able to filter out kind of the things that we're seeing that are only bad. I think a lot of the time the youth only see a certain portion of what's actually true, and it's easy to believe that when it's being pushed in your face. So I think that there just needs to be more perspectives that's being shown to the youth so we can make our own decisions.
Right. At the end of the day, we are all pushing for positivity, and we all want our first-time voters to vote for people that would suit them, all right? It's not what we're looking at. Yes, and that's what Just Turned 18 is about. Please, we're not doing this conversation alone. We have behind us other people who are also here and they're first-time voters just like us. So, hello, guys.